Yeah.
Wait. Let me line up with yours and make sure
Okay.
we're the same size. Yeah, I
Yeah.
yeah
You're good where you're at.
yeah.
Okay, here we go. And hi, everyone. Welcome to the Exploring Creative Minds podcast. I'm your host, Judah Hooper. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Rakesh NAGURI. He is a filmmaker. He's shot movies, he's directed movies, he's done visual effects for movies, he's done many, many things, and I'm, proud to call him a friend, and I'm excited to talk to him. So, thank you for agreeing to do this, Rakesh.
Oh, for sure. Hello.
Uh, so I'll just jump right in. I mean, what got you interested in filmmaking? Because you have a lot of people, especially in our generation, grew up watching films. So what was the thing that made you go like, I want to pursue this, you know, beyond just watching it, you know?
At first, it was visual effects.
Mm.
Okay, I like magic tricks, and I wanted to do magic. I was recording them on my mother's flip phone. It wasn't a flip phone; it was a slide phone. I was recording them on that, and
Yeah.
then I found out we could do tricks, cuts, and everything with editing. And then I learned visual effects and editing, and through that, and then I watched Back to the Future. That's what kind of not exactly Back to the Future, just saying that's what first thing that came to mind. One of the films, not the only film, but yeah, that got me into films
Mm.
through visual effects.
So visual effects, you said. Back to the Future is a good example. That movie's very cool.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started noticing? I guess when you started noticing that films were like made, because like when you're a kid, they're like you don't think of them that way until a certain
Mm.
point. You know what I
I know
mean?
exactly
Uh,
when. It was sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
Yeah,
Wow, that's very cool.
yeah.
And you were like, you were like, oh, what made you realize like you're seeing a visual effect and you're not seeing like something real that they filmed, you know?
No, I realized films were being made in sixth grade, not visual effects per se.
Mm.
Like I knew films were fake, and they were making. I knew shots, and there were people behind the camera, all that stuff. Not visual effects. Visual effects slowly while watching breakdowns on the internet.
Mm.
I learned those. Yeah,
Got it. That's so cool because like, yeah, not everybody pursues it,
yeah.
and like that's cool that at an early age you were like, you realized that, you know. Why did you choose to go to film school? That's yeah.
Before that, I want to say something about visual effects.
Good, good.
I chose visual effects because I was the only person at home, so I could be the only one. I'm sure many visual effects artists can relate with this. The
Mm.
first effect any visual effects artist does is a cloning effect because they're alone and they have only
Right,
themselves.
right, right. And yeah, so that was the first thing you learned. What
Yeah,
what uh
cloning.
what software did you use for cloning?
Uh, at first, it was the software called Wax 2.0 or something like. I don't really. It was like a ripoff of After Effects for Linux, uh,
Okay,
and then
okay.
after that, After Effects since like
After Effects, yeah.
2010, 11. Yeah,
Wow.
I've stayed with
And
After Effects since then. Yeah,
you just learned it like yourself. Really, you
yeah,
didn't.
YouTube
That's
and
crazy.
Video Copilot.
Wow. Well, that's cool because you're very. I've always liked that you're very independent. You don't have to like be within a system to learn something.
Yeah,
I've always
dude.
admired of that about
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
You know, you don't have to like, you don't have to have someone giving you a systematic structure for you to like want to do something. Like
Yeah.
you take the initiative and you learn the craft yourself. I've always admired that.
Because if
So
we do that, we get stuck. And if we get stuck, it'll take years to do something.
right, it's true. and
Yeah.
you can't rely on anybody
Yeah.
to do your passions ultimately. So, um, yeah. So, like, why did you choose film school, and how did that come about, sort of thing?
I chose film school because one of the requirements was I had to go to college before I do films.
Hmm.
So I thought, why do something else and then pursue film if I could pursue film directly, and if I had that opportunity, why not go for that?
Right. Okay. And
Not the
then you
answer I
went
was
to
expecting
CSUN.
for. I don't know.
No, no, it's cool. I think it makes sense. I mean, you chose CSUN, which is one of the best in the country, really. So, why did you choose that one?
I don't have an answer for you.
Because there's like Full Sail and there's USC and there's
Yeah.
UCLA and
So
there's
I
like
spoke
all
to some
this.
people from Full Sail graduates. They were like it's not a degree per se. It's just a diploma. I think at Full Sail, it's like 2 year
Mm,
workshop, and it's like a workshop almost. It's 2 years. I think, I'm not sure. Those people were like, if you want to just learn technical stuff, go to Full Sail, or the what is this? I forgot the other one. But if you want to learn
USC.
theory and
Yeah.
just go to college. At Full Sail, I guess you learn like the in depths of one particular field, like cinematography or editing, and that's it. And it's not like a college.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna go to Full Sail. I remember I did an interview because you know how you do that. You do like interviews with
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, like a dean there or whatever. So I remember I did that. So yeah, yeah. I think you're right. It's not like a full 4 year BA type of
yeah,
ordeal there. Um, it's cool. I remember what attracted me to it was the access to equipment and stuff. Like where
yeah.
like, hey, you can
And
shoot
you get
something
a
on
free
film
camera
and stuff.
with your tuition,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And
right?
like
Yeah,
all this stuff that like you would have to invest in, like you just
yeah,
have if you got into Full Sail. So I ultimately decided not to go because it was too expensive to
yeah.
like
It
figure out
is.
how to
Yeah.
commute there and all that. But I remember that was very attractive. Like, oh, you could
So you
shoot
were gonna
something
go
on
to
film.
Florida
Yes, I was when
and
I
live with
was.
your grandparents or relatives?
No, well, that was one of the biggest reasons because at the time, there was like nobody I knew there.
Oh, okay.
Um, And so I was like, okay, like that's very far place to go where there's like I don't know anybody there, and I'd have to figure out. And my parents were kind of like, you know, they were honest about the fact that they couldn't like help me
Yeah,
with college financially, sort of thing, which is understandable.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to figure something else out. But it's funny because they ended up moving there 2 years later to Florida. But so yeah, you what was your first year of film school? Was it 2015 or
2016.
2016?
Yeah,
16.
yeah.
Okay. Um, and then what did you major in?
So yeah, I finished college. I mean, high school a year before that, and then I was like, I went and worked on a film in between high school and college.
Mm,
Yeah, not for a long time. It was like 2 weeks, but still a little bit of experience. And then my major, right? It's film production with emphasis in sound.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Film production with emphasis on sound.
I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's film production, cinema and television arts in film production. Yes, I think that's what it is.
Nice. Very cool. And then wow, so you said you worked on a movie before you even went to see Sun. So,
Yeah,
were you directing that? Were you what would
I was just a production assistant or maybe an intern.
uh
I knew someone that worked on the set, so I just went here
wow.
just to get a feel
Wow.
for it. Yeah,
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's
yeah.
very cool. Um, and what is it about filmmaking that you like the most? Because like, there's like, filmmaking is such like a broad world, And we've both made films, so like that there's like a huge broad world there. Like
Yep.
you could specialize in production design or costume design or cinematography or sound. Like what's the things that you like most about it?
I don't care what it is. I love being on a set, to be honest,
Mm.
I don't care what I'm
So you love
doing.
it all.
Yeah, I love it all. But I want to be useful, I don't want to be a production assistant getting coffee and sweeping floors. Yeah. If they're respecting me and I'm being useful, I don't mind doing anything on a set. I
Right.
just want to be on a set. Yeah.
Right. No, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
very cool. So you just like the the experience of making
Yes.
the movie in the set.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if you're what the role is, as long as you're being useful.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Um, yeah, I think it's you know a lot about like lenses and um, like camera sensor stuff. How did you get to that?
That's
You
an
know.
addiction, dude. It's uh okay. I got to that by reading too much new articles online and YouTube. Way too much YouTube in my first year of college.
Nice. What did you watch? Like Film Riot or stuff like that? Or I remember I used to watch
Yeah, Film
that stuff.
Right. Let's see, nofilmschool.com.
Mm.
And then
Okay.
it's ironic that I was going to a film school and reading no film school, but that's what it is. And then Studio Binder.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't
Same.
remember off the top of my head right now, but yeah, film
No,
school.
those are.
Uh, I mean, Film
I remember
Riot,
you.
definitely.
Yes,
Yes.
Film Riot. Yeah, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
Their content is very cool. Um, I remember you told me about In Depth Sin, that YouTuber.
Depsiny,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
That
I've
that's
learned
more
a
recent. I
lot.
think that was like 2 years
Yeah,
ago. Yeah.
yeah. I learned a lot just by watching his content for the
Yes.
past like couple of years because he's very he's in depth.
Yeah.
He
Now,
talks about
yeah.
everything.
Like honestly, now when people ask me if they come ask me like, do should I go to film school or something, I tell them to go watch that channel
Yeah,
specifically. That
yeah.
and Studio Binder, in-depth cine and
Mm,
Studio Binder.
yeah. Those
And
ones
I'm
are great.
like,
They don't
the
hide
professors are
anything.
going to show you these same videos in class.
Right. Exactly. And you won't have to pay $200,000
Yeah.
to watch them. Sort of thing. Yeah, those are it's I really like how much content there is for like everything you want to learn for
Yes, but
filmmaking, you know?
the thing is, online, they're like, even people who are just starting out, they speak so confidently that we think they know what they are talking about. Those
Mhm.
can really mislead us and misguide us,
Mm,
That's
true.
the only thing we should be wary of. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's very true, you know. So obviously you grew up in India
Yeah.
and you're living there right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm right now.
So,
Yeah.
yes, what was that like growing up in India? And like, was did you come to America for the first time when you went into college, or did you go before? Or
Yes, that's the first time, 2 weeks before college.
wow, and you knew English and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah. So what were the things that you noticed about like Americans as soon as
I
like you
mean, the thing
started
is,
going there? You know?
maybe when people who live their whole life in America, when they go to other countries, they might have a culture shock. But since all of us, people from other countries, since we watch American stuff, we know American pop culture, it's not that big of
Mm,
a, you know,
right.
culture shock or whatever you want to call it when you go to America.
Right. You're not like, oh,
Yeah.
what? They speak
But
English here? You know?
yeah, but when you go to other countries, you have a shock because you've never seen those stuff.
Yeah. I feel like there's more of an ignorance in America where
Yeah,
like
definitely.
we think like this is the way that the world works when
Yeah.
really it's just the small part of the world. And then
Yes.
we're like, what? They eat with their hands or They
Yeah.
don't, whatever. They sit on the floor when they eat, or they do this or that, and like there's an ignorance there,
Yeah.
because we think that the way that we do it is the way it's supposed to be done, not
Yes.
realizing that it's different everywhere,
Yeah.
you know. And I feel like it's I've always noticed with you that you you have like a strong sense of cultural kind of identity with India, and I've always really admired that. Like, there's certain foods you don't eat, and there's certain things like, the it's what was that like? I guess growing with like, culture really, because a lot of Americans just they don't have that. They just do whatever they want, and that's it. But
I
you have like a
mean,
strong sense of culture. You
I don't know. I don't know what to say to that.
know. It's fine.
It's like I didn't grow up
But
eating those foods, so I'm like, I don't. I mean, it's not like it's healthy to eat those, so I'm like,
no,
I avoid them. That's it.
right. It's like, yeah, it's the way that things are for
Yeah,
you, and
because here meat is like a delicacy. You don't eat it every day. You eat
right.
it like once a week or once in 2 weeks, or when you go out. That's
Mhm.
it.
What do you regularly eat?
Vegetarian food, rice and
Mm.
uh, other lentils and whatever.
Lentils, nice.
Yeah. I don't know what you call it them in English, so that's the first thing that came to mind. Like vegetable soups. It's not exactly soup. Vegetable curry, I guess. Yeah. Stuff like
Curry,
that. Yeah.
yes.
Stuff like that.
Um, Very cool. Yeah, I went to India, which you know about when
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very little.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I know. I remember there were a couple foods I tried. It was like curry related stuff. I remember we ate on the floor
Mm.
um, for a specific meal, which I know other cultures do that. Like Japan does that
Yeah.
when they have special meals, they eat on the floor, sort of thing, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool that like you took the initiative and you went to America and got your degree and you made films and stuff like that, and it's very
Made
cool.
films, not in film school, but with friends.
Yeah,
You have to
exactly.
keep that in.
That's the way to do
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
the way to do it. Because there's always constrictions, when you do it within the film school
Yeah.
circuit, So that's cool that you did that. And then, like, what is the industry like in India compared to America, the film industry? Like, what are the differences? Like, how like RRR was a huge movie here and stuff. I know that was a
Oh,
big
what
deal
did
for
you
India.
think?
RRR.
Yeah.
I thought it was epic, bro. It was I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It was very original, and it was very the visual effects were amazing in
Yeah.
the movie, and I liked the score as well.
I was so upset you guys couldn't watch it in the theater, dude. So
Oh
mad.
yeah,
So mad.
yeah. That was you had to be vaccinated because
Yeah.
LA and all that stuff. But yeah, so like, what is it like there? What are the differences between like Bollywood and
Okay.
Hollywood, sort of
There are
thing?
like, it's not just those two, and I don't like
Right,
using those terms, but yeah, let's just use them.
for sure.
There are like
Sorry.
multiple industries. Like I've told you before, each state, almost each state has their own language, right?
Mm,
So they have their own film industry too, whether it's big or small, making films
interesting.
in their languages. So
Okay.
the big ones are Hindi, which is Bollywood, I guess, and then Telugu,
Yeah,
which is
that's
my
okay.
language, and then Tamil and Malayalam, Kannada, Bengali. There are a lot of languages, a lot of film industries in their capital
Mm,
cities mostly, in the state's capital city. And then, yeah, and okay, the big difference from Hollywood to Indian film industries is the studio system isn't that big here. In Hindi, it is, but not in other industries. There are individual
mm,
producers financing movies and getting crews together mostly. There are a few, it's becoming big here too because I don't know. I mean, yeah, but not as big as in the US. In America, it's mostly the studios, right? And then there's some small independent stuff going on. Like for example, RRR is an independent film. It's not financed by a studio. It's financed
Really?
by one guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You get more freedom because the director doesn't have to listen to a studio.
Wow. That's that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Wow.
American
Yeah.
sense, it's an independent film, but yeah.
Right. It's what was the budget for RRR?
It's like $70 million.
Okay.
I
That's
think.
a
Yeah,
decent
around
amount.
that, 60 to 70, I think.
Wow. Um wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's cool how like people like Steven Spielberg and stuff were talking about it when it came out. So um what do you think about like AI um and where it's going in the film industry? Is it a good thing to you? Is it a bad thing? Is it just another tool? Like, what is your opinion on it as a person
Hmm.
who's into technical stuff? Yeah.
Okay. I love it, but at the same time, I'm scared. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, it's not going to go away for sure because people are developing it every day, and it's
Mm-hmm.
developing its own by its own every day. It can't be stopped. The only thing you can do is limit it, I guess, and then yeah, you have to find uses for it.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, you were going to
There
say something.
there are cool things. There are like there's cool things about stuff in AI. Like you have like that. I think it's on Adobe.
Firefly.
Yeah, it's like there's the sound one where like you can basically save your sound edit if like something's wrong if and through this AI software. I saw someone do that the other day on YouTube. So there's definitely cool potential stuff like that where like I could see it being useful. I think people are afraid of what they don't understand as always. So they're
It's
like
like
vetting it, but
it's like when digital took over and people who were shooting film were like, "Oh, we don't want to switch to digital; it's too easy," and stuff like that. Even when
yeah.
Photoshop came around, stuff
Right.
like. I mean, this is a much bigger change than those. It's like streaming
Yes.
came in, stuff like that. But yeah, I guess people have to. Government has to put in laws so people don't abuse AI, and yeah, people have to get used to it. It's not going to go away for
People
sure.
have to get used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. It's like it just needs to we just have to make sure that we have control over the it as a tool. And that's as long as we have that, then I think we'll be fine. I think it's not inherently a bad thing just
yeah,
because it's like new
yeah,
doesn't mean like it's like when like phones came out like like smartphones specifically and like people were like afraid of like their privacy and what this meant for the world sort of thing and there has been downsides to like people having phones in terms of
yeah.
like distractions and stuff like that and but there's a lot of good sides too obviously so yeah.
Also, to be clear, AI has been here for a while. It's just been
Dun,
popularized in the
dun, dun.
media recently.
Mm, so true.
The word
Yeah.
AI has been popularized recently, but it's been here for a while.
Right. No, that's true. And yeah, it's an inevitable thing.
Yeah,
There's so many like books and movies that have talked about stuff like this happening.
yeah,
The trick is just to be aware of that and to try to use it to the best that we can. So I'm not against it. There are some filmmakers I've talked to who are just like completely against the
they're
idea of
scared, dude. That's
using
it.
anything AI, you know?
Yeah,
And it's like, why? You know? It's just another tool,
it's like
you
you
know?
use a color picker to take out the green screen in the background. That's AI.
Da da
Uh,
da.
it's like you remove this online websites where you can remove your background in a second. That's AI. It's just not
Right.
talked about.
Yeah. Well, people think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger and they think of AI. They think of like
Yeah,
you know I'll be back. They think of that kind of AI, which is not what this is at all.
yeah.
But
It
that's what
could
I feel
become
like people are
that if
afraid
we're
of.
not aware, but
Yes. There we go.
not there
They're
yet
afraid of
for
like
sure.
Terminator. It's like you know, it could be a useful thing. So
Yeah,
that's cool that you have like an open mind to it. You're not just like like I said, I've talked to filmmakers that are like completely just against the idea of using it for anything. So, um, as far as like story with like a movie, what do you feel like what's a good story? Do you feel like there's something that we can kind of dissect? Like, how do you know a bad movie versus like a good movie? Like
I mean, if it's not
outside of
interesting,
just ooh.
you know,
But that's
as long as it's
subjective though.
engaging, I don't care.
Right. It's like is there like an objective angle to that, because obviously there's like bad movies like okay, like I don't know, The Room or Birdemic or something, right, where those
Yeah,
are like okay, those are just technically bad, like the sound isn't always there, the green screen looks horrible, that kind of stuff. But then there's movies that are just like they're shot decently and all the technical stuff is fine, but they're still bad,
yeah.
like I don't know, Transformers or something, like you know you know what I mean, like how do we know the differences between like a good movie and a bad movie
Not the
outside
right
of just
person to
technically?
ask this question, but okay, I'll try. I'm not going to pretend, but I'll try.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. I can watch almost any kind of movie
Mm.
except, let's see, horror, because I'm just not into it.
You don't
Uh,
like horror?
no.
You made a horror movie then.
Which one?
uh, the one you did with the kids.
Oh, that. I mean,
That was kind
it's
of horror
horror
like.
comedy, I guess, but
There's horror in there.
I
I was
mean,
scared.
making and
His
watching
eyes turned
is
black at
totally
the end.
different. Yeah, making and watching is totally different, dude.
True. True.
Let's see. Yeah, if it's just action without any purpose, I can't watch that either. Like John
Mm.
Wick, not a fan. I mean, people
No,
love
you don't
John
like
Wick,
John Wick.
and not a
Wow.
fan, no. But if it has a story, have you seen Nobody?
No, I've heard of it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that movie. I don't know
Okay.
why,
I'll
just
check it
not
out.
into John Wick. I tried watching it a couple of times. No.
Yeah, I get it. It's there's not much else there if you know besides just like the action and like the
Yeah.
fighting. There's like literally not much else there. Like so, I get it. Like there has to be a story supporting it, sort of
Yes.
thing.
Doesn't have to be
You
a
know?
very strong story, just a story.
Yeah, just the story. Yeah, like yeah. No, I get you. That makes sense. Like those are like my favorite kind of action stuff is like the ones that have more of a story. Like, could you imagine if like Star Wars was like just like spaceships shooting? How
Oh,
boring would that
dude,
be?
I
you know,
I can watch
it has a
Star Wars,
story.
but not Star Trek. It's just too boring for me.
You don't like Star Trek?
No, dude.
Dang,
I haven't
busted.
watched any of the classic ones. I've seen the
Mm.
what is it?
J.J.
Star Trek
Abrams.
Into Darkness, whatever, the new J.J. Abrams ones.
Yeah, those
No,
aren't
just
very.
not a fan. No,
Yeah.
I just don't get the lore. I haven't followed up on anything. So
Right. Dang, bro. Yeah, okay. To each his own.
yeah,
I would say Star Wars is definitely more entertaining. You have more relatable characters. Like Luke is a very relatable character. He grew up on a farm where he was poor and stuff, and he gets a chance to become a Jedi. It's a very like relatable story.
the
You know.
classic kid on an adventure with what is
Yeah, the
this?
hero's
The classic
journey,
story.
right?
Yeah, hero. Yeah.
It's the perfect way to tell Star Wars is like through that person's eyes. So, yeah, it's hard to know like what's like what a good movie is versus a bad movie, outside of just pointing out of like oh the sound is bad like
I mean, to
but
me, if all the technicals, the technical aspects are good, if it's engaged, other than those, if it's engaging, it's a good story. Dude. That's it.
right, yeah, is it engaging?
Yeah.
But some people aren't engaged by the same things. That's the thing. It's like it's hard to know, but
Yeah, you
you
can't
know,
help that.
yeah,
It's like
you know,
today, for example, at home, I don't like watching
mm,
movies with other people. Not in a theater, but at home on TV because they'll keep checking their phones. That uh, annoys me so much.
yeah, I hate that too.
So like, I don't like watching movies at home with other people. In a theater, it's fine, you know.
Right. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the movies that came out last month? You know, Barbenheimer and
No.
uh, Mission
English movies don't release
Impossible.
in my town, so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
for sure.
I do watch them
Yeah,
when they come to streaming, but that's it, you know.
got it.
Or if
They're
I'm
good.
visiting some place where it's playing, then I do.
Right.
Otherwise, no.
Um, do you have a favorite movie?
Like forever, like last year, this year, something. Uh,
In general.
I don't have favorite movies, but I have like a few that I consider perfect movies that anybody can
Mm,
enjoy.
what are
Movies
they?
like Back to the Future,
There you go.
uh, Minority Report,
Ooh, it's Spielberg
yes,
movie. Yeah.
Spielberg, I Robot,
I Robot.
yes,
Was it Will Smith?
Will
Yeah.
Smith,
Uh,
yeah, and then yeah, these
those are great choices.
stuff that
Very
came to mind.
unique.
Yeah.
You know. No, it's very cool. So, I guess I'll wrap it up by asking this last question, which is basically, what advice would you give to someone who is trying to pursue filmmaking the way that you were when you were in sixth grade?
Oh, dude, I'm not in a place to give advice to people, but okay.
Hey, you've done a
Uh,
lot of stuff, man.
yeah. I guess don't just watch YouTube and read no film school and think you're a filmmaker. Make something, you know.
Mm,
Film stuff. I don't care if it's taking pictures. Take pictures. Taking pictures will help with your composition and framing. Do something. Just don't tell people I want to make a movie. Make something in, you know. I hope that was
no, that was great.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying is like take action. Don't
Yes.
just don't just study like don't just watch like YouTube
Yeah.
content and
I don't
then
care if you
like
don't
talk
watch
about
anything. First, make something and then go watch
right.
because
You
you'll know
have to take action.
what mistakes you made. That's what I did. I
Um
hated watching theory tutorials like what is framing, what is composition. I don't want to watch those. You know, it's so boring, dude.
right.
Just make stuff and then you learn.
Right. Make stuff and then you learn.
Yeah.
No, I think
Because
that's great advice.
at that person's age or whatever, the middle school, high school, they don't have anything to
Hmm.
lose. They can just make something for free, you know.
Right. So, the best way to learn is to do.
Yeah, sure,
Um,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Um, and so, I think that's great advice. I think Stanley Kubrick said something like that, where he was like, the best way to learn how to make a film is to make a film.
yes,
You know.
yes, I'm gonna,
Um,
yes, yes.
and I think he was right about that. So, well, thank you for agreeing to do this,
Oh, anytime,
Rakesh,
dude.
again,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it, and I'll watch whatever you do next. So,
Oh, definitely. Thank you. Looking
no problem.
forward